Hello, in this video we'll take a look at how to customize and brand Mesh Central so that you can have your own company logos and titles and headers and footers just the way you want it for your company. So one important aspect of Mesh Central is to be able to customize the website in such a way that it really feels like it's your own company website. This is open source software, so you're absolutely free to customize any way you like, including going and changing the web pages and the CSS and so on. However, there's a set of built-in customizations that are fairly easy and will allow you to update the server to new versions without having to remodify all the web pages. Essentially, you'll be able to put your own branding while still being able to update to new versions of Mesh Central without any changes. You're doing this by changing the configuration of Mesh Central to add your own logos and things of the sort. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to switch over to my trusty developer server. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is how to customize the login page. So I'm going to put this aside for a moment. And I have 3 bitmaps here. Let's see if I can move them down. I can't. I have to, let's see, not auto-arrange. There you go. So now I can move them down. So I have 3 logos. One is a image of my company that goes on the top of the screen. We'll see that in a bit. There's also, I have a company name and slogan. This is what we're going to use on the login page. And we have a logo of Mesh Central 2 here that we can use as a background or something like that. And just for a reference here, the main one, the title one on the top, it is, let's see, 450 by 66. So that's the one that is going to be on the top here. And the way I do it is I have like this gradient to transparent on the right, so it blends well with the existing title bar on top of Mesh Central. So let's take a look at that. What we're going to do is open Visual Studio or your favorite JSON editor, and in the config file, there's going to be, of course, the settings section, but underneath the settings section will be the domain section. Now, the domain sections or domains has a default domain that has like, it's an empty string, so that's your default one, and you can have other domains, of course. And in each one of your domains, you can put any customization you want. So you can have one domain branded with one company, another domain branded with a different company, and that's perfectly fine. So we're going to take a look at just like maybe these keys up to here. So this is basically what we're going to play with in this video. The first one is the site style, and by default now it is number 2. If you switch it to number 1, this is the old login page. So I'm going to go back here and Control-C, run Mesh Central again. So I'm basically resetting the server. And then when I hit refresh, you'll see that this is the old style for the login page. There's a couple of other pages that also have the old style. But we are not going to, and all the settings and the customization will work on the old style, but we are going to look at the new style. So site style number 2, and then you reset the server again, hit refresh, boom, you're back on style number 2. So the first things we're going to take a look at is these titles. So if you put title equal my server, for example, and title 2 to my server 2, reset the server, then instead of Mesh Central, you'll see my server and then my server 2. If you want to have like a smaller thing on the top here, you can do that, but you don't have to. And you'll also see that my server is on the top on the title bar. So that replaces the Mesh Central that is there. Now, of course, title 2, you can put an underscore underneath there and restart if you just want a simple name for your server, and then you hit refresh and you see my server there, and still my server on the top right there. So the title 2 is interesting if you have lots of servers, like my control server or something, but you have like different variations and you want like number 1, number 2, number 3 or something. Well, you put it in title 2 right there. Okay, now the difference between the title and title 1 is that title is really going to be across the board. It's going to be the title for your server. Title 1 is if you have a graphic that shows the name of your server, and so I have it here called a picture. Title picture. So I'm going to turn this on. Then when I run it, and I may need to log in to show this. See, yeah, I need to log in. So I'm going to log in here, and you're going to see that I have my server on the top, but the company logo showed up on the upper left. So that's because I have title and title picture just set. But if I set this title 1 to some string and I reset, then basically title 1 goes on top of this picture. And so here you see my server 1 go on top of the picture. So if you intend the picture to just be a background thing that you put your server name on, then what you do is you set server 1, title 1 to what you want, and then this is the background. But usually you just set the title to your server, and so then that will show up on the top bar here and everywhere. And then you set the picture to whatever brand you have. And then when you reset that will get put on the upper left. And you can be kind of nice about this. It really makes a difference in how professional your server looks if you have a really nice logo on the upper left here. Okay, so I'm going to log out, and we're going to take a look at the login page. So here it says my server, but I have the login picture. And in this case, the login picture is, I'm going to take a look at it's, in my case, 283 by 160, but I don't think the size matters too much for this one. I'm going to reset the server again. I'm going to hit refresh, and then you see your company logo show up right there. So, and of course, the title is still on the upper left. And then there's this background picture right there, and that is the welcome picture. So I'm going to uncomment this. And that one also, it doesn't really matter what the size of the picture is, but it will be semi-transparent in the back right there. And if you'll notice that if you move the window, it stays at a certain proportion there. So I usually have something that blends in well in the background, and so you don't have this hard edge at the end. So you want something that blends to a semi-opaque or completely invisible edge to make this look good. I'm going to switch to site style number 1 just to see what happens here. But essentially, this welcome picture will show up on the left side. So that's the old style. And then your company logo shows on the top. But I'm going to go back to slide number 2. Another thing that I want to show is welcome text. So if you put that welcome text, it will show as text on the login page. So actually, I'll need to reset again since I made that change. And I'm going to hit refresh here. And so you'll see the welcome text just pops up at the bottom of the web page right there. I also have the login footer. And you can put some HTML in this. You can also put some HTML in the login text. And I'm going to also uncomment the footer here. Now, the login footer will be displayed on the login page. The footer will be displayed on all the other pages once you're logged in. So I'm going to hit refresh. Let's see the login footer on the bottom left here. And then once I log in, if I display the footer, then you'll see this is a test, and there's information in Twitter account and stuff. This is this footer right there. Okay? So essentially, with that, you should be able to manage, brand your server in some good way. Those 3 pictures here, when you put the title, make sure to have put PNG or JPEG correctly at the end of the file name, and you put these pictures inside your meshcentral-data folder. And so that's where they're expected to be when they're here. Now, note that the nice thing about this is as you update your server to new versions, the entire node modules folder and every folder underneath node modules will get wiped out, will get replaced with new versions. But everything that you have in meshcentral-data, your certificates, your database, your pictures, your branding, your configuration, that will stay, regardless of the version that you update to. The other thing I want to just quickly touch on is the TitleHTML. So if you uncomment this, then what will happen is that instead of the title, being displayed there or the logo, it will put HTML in the top. So if you want to do some like really fancy HTML like branding on your bar, like you can do that. So here it basically displays this is a test in yellow, because that's this HTML right there. And then when you close, it will display the HTML on top right there. So that gives you an additional amount of flexibility if you want to put custom HTML inside the web page, inside the top part of the page, or in the login page. That gives you a chance to do that. So anyway, that's a very quick way of rebranding your server. I hope you use that to just have a good time, have fun, and make your server really your own. Have a great day.